We finally got an official Plants vs. Zombies remaster. Let's see here. $30? That's like 6 times the price of the original. Wait, maybe they added like 6 times the original number of plants. Here's a brief on what the features are. Graphics are upscaled all the way up to 4K. They don't use AI upscaling, rather it seems that most of the art was redrawn. As an example, the hose here has water coming out of it, while in the original there isn't any. Yes, my entire basis for this being true is this watery hose. You can now play in widescreen instead of 4x3. There's the local co-op and local versus game modes from console. There's no online gameplay for some reason, but I'm really glad that these are still coming to PC and are not just locked to console. They changed the visual options to toggles so it's more accessible now. That's nice, but only for the 20 people who consistently play with those on. There are 2 new major upcoming modes. First one being a cloudy day mode, where less sun falls from the sky. Essentially, it's a new challenge. Only time will tell how difficult it makes the game though. I hope it forces more strategic plays and isn't just something added for the sake of things being added. Rest in Peace mode, which is a hardcore mode where if you lose, you go all the way back to the start of the game. The art and concept library, which is always a welcome addition. Just a bit confused as to why it took so long to give us something like this. And the pre-order benefit of a retro pea shooter skin. Okay. Aside from those, you get the ability to change the speed of the game, which is something desperately needed in my opinion. You can choose levels now, and sure, adopting the mobile UI feels strange, but I don't think it's going to be a major thing to get used to. The game is going to come to all of these following consoles. In all seriousness, I think this game is going to be good. First of all, I'm glad it is not something completely restricted to the Switch and the Switch 2. Since it has an actual release on Steam, I'm hoping for some sort of easy access mod support through the Steam Workshop. But maybe that is too optimistic. I'm also really glad that they stuck with the same art style, because seeing what they did with Plants vs. Zombies 3, yeah, remember that game? They cannot be trusted with reinventing the art style. The artist for the original game, Rich Werner, was not contacted for the development of PvZ Replanted, which does suck. The pricing is to be expected, because this is something commonly seen in the remasters scene. Dark Souls Remastered, RDR 1 Remastered, Last of Us 1 Remastered, Spider-Man Remastered, all of these games came with a big price tag, without them changing a lot. I just wish that this game would have been the first to break that chain. You know how I said that this game could be a good thing? I was being fairly optimistic. It can just as equally be a bad thing, because there are 2 outcomes to this remaster releasing. 1, the game succeeds, the fans get a better PC port, and EA invests more money and resources into making better PvZ games. 2, the game fails, causing a true downfall of this beloved franchise. Sure, the chances of failing may be low, but it is never zero. It's literally the same game, but with better graphics, for the most part. So I really hope it doesn't mess up. I feel that this release will help PopCap and EA determine whether or not this franchise deserves any more resources put into it. Like a sort of litmus test to check if there still exists a loyal fanbase with big heavy wallets. Speaking of EA checking to see if PvZ has fans with big wallets, please don't have microtransactions. The last thing anyone wants is to spend $20 just to spend more. I'm more excited about what mods can come out of this, and also the outcome of the modding scene as a whole. Sure, we don't get a whole lot considering it's been 15 years since the original release, but most of these things are nice to haves, which is something you can't go wrong with. It could have been a whole lot worse or a whole lot better, but as it stands, what we have right now is still fine. I think having a proper flawless release of the game with all these newer additions is definitely going to allow for newer generations of gamers to experience this game as vanilla as possible, with some neat changes. The only flaws of the game, the 4x3 ratio, the lack of a local co-op, the level select, the ability to change speeds, are being removed entirely. I would probably wait for a sale because that price is still outrageous. I personally think it should have been maybe $10 for the asking price, but let's wait and see how this game turns out.